Welcome to the True Mind Shifters channel. In this channel, we share true stories from our own life about fear, shame, and guilt to help ourselves live our best life, but also to help you as you think of your path to living your best life as well.
If you like our channel, if you like our stories, if you feel supported, please like this story, share it with others, and also subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming stories. We have a lot of interesting content coming in, especially right now when there are so many issues around us, whether it's weather related or whether it's a political climate, economical. We are not interested in talking about it as an event. What we are talking about is the true essence of all of those situations and how they impact us as human beings, how they impact you. And maybe those stories will help you feel supported, feel motivated to work with them, with things that you need to work in with. So please subscribe, like, and share our stories. Thank you.
There's been a lot going on.
There's been a lot going on. So Eva and I chatted yesterday while my husband and I were evacuating from the Sarasota area due to the hurricane. We were supposed to record yesterday and then we had to evacuate. So Eva and I decided that we will try to record today because it's a true continuation of our conversation we started last week. There were horrific impacts of Hurricane Helena in North Carolina, especially from what we've heard, and it hit pretty close to home because Eva has very dear friends there who I know, and it definitely impacted our conversation. What also impacted our conversation was current events around the world, including Israel, and today is a basically continuation of the story because now we are dealing with the Hurricane
Milton.
Milton. I will never remember that. My mind is just blocking the name because that impact is exactly where
I
I
know, I kind of
live.
feel bad for all the people who have the name of Milton. Like now they have this negative connotation out there with this hurricane.
Maybe
Anyway.
on the other hand, then you should feel bad for Helens and for
Yeah,
all of the
exactly. I
other
do.
names.
Every time there is one, I'm like, oh, why? Why do we have to do names?
Yeah, I just want to know. But anyways, so to continue the conversation is I was thinking of sharing some of the perspective and would be very curious to hear Eva's as well as all of our viewers. Here are my thoughts. Yesterday when we were observing and preparing and we weren't thinking of leaving. We decided to stay, so we were preparing to stay. However, as I was basically working and getting ready, I've come across a post on a local Facebook group where people in my town, some of them were actually panicking. They were in such fear and distress. And one person wrote that they totally understand that they need to be calm, but they can't. They already have an anxiety and panic attacks from being a veteran and having those PTSDs, and that's basically on top of it, and they're just absolutely destroyed. So I responded, and it looked like my response really was helping a lot of people because they were supporting my response and they were answering to that gentleman, and he also responded with thanking me. And my response was around the fact that it's very important to stay calm. It's very important in any situation you're in to stay calm. I have realized yesterday that anxiety, panic is caused by fear. The fear is causing all of those. And of course, I knew that before. We were talking about it for so long, but I've experienced those things. I've had this immediate, when I saw the evacuation zones announcement, I've had that immediate reaction as a human being, where I have gotten completely distraught for a minute. And Eva actually was texting me in that exact moment. So I think she felt it, like I was not able to get my mind together. But being where I am right now, doing what we're doing with Eva for ourselves and for everyone, doing exactly what Oak mentioned in one of our shows together, where you just need to self-reflect. My self-reflection is exactly where I was hoping it would be when I was learning. It would be based on what people were sharing. I'm self-reflecting at every single moment that something is happening, a reaction of mine, something that I said, something that I felt. I immediately get a self-reflection. So at this particular moment, I knew that I am experiencing fear based on the situation and based on the unknown, and that if I'm not going to calm down and start thinking rationally, right? Rationally of what we should be doing, what is the best course of action for us, I'm going to spiral immediately and my mind would go everywhere. So what I would like to suggest to everyone is to do exactly what I said. Acknowledge to yourself you have a fear at this particular moment and you have an anxiety. Breathe. There are a whole bunch of little techniques that allow you to resolve your anxiety if you pay attention to it in 1 to 3, right? Tons of it. And we will put some in the description of this story. And I save them and I repeat them. And that's how I learn them, right? Because I know it happens to me. I have this immediate jolt of fear going through me or anxiety. So how do I deal with it? I acknowledge it first, and then I deal with it on a physical level, on a somatic level, as we had a wonderful show with
Kimberly Arnold, yes.
Kimberly Arnold. Thank you so much. So as soon as I've done that, my head cleared. It took 5 minutes, no more. My head cleared, I was calm and I was breathing. So I talked to my husband and we decided what we're gonna do. In an hour and a half, we were out of the house. I took the documents, I took some clothes, I took my valuables, and we were out. And some food, just for the road. And we were out. We were calm, and we were able to share our preparations with our neighbors, right? And it was very so timely because they didn't have those. So and we started driving and I felt amazing, Eva. I felt amazing because nobody yelled, nobody screamed, nobody ran around, we didn't forget anything. And we were able to help our neighbors and we helped ourselves. And life is great. And on the way to that other town, I was also communicating with my work via IM, via some emails, and someone said to me, how are you able to concentrate and think about work when you are actually seeking shelter? And I said, but it's okay. I said, my husband is driving. We're comfortable in the car. We have gas. Yeah, it's raining outside. But that's okay. Why not? Why not work? And he was astounded. And I wasn't astounded because I truly feel when we are in a calm, balanced state of mind, we can continue being productive and do whatever we need to do, whatever we want to do.
I think you're
That's what I
breaking
want to share.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you're breaking down of a process that helps acknowledge. You're not saying that the hurricane, you're not in denial, right? You're accepting fully that there's a
Yes.
hurricane coming. It will impact your life. You can't control that, but you can
Mm-mm.
control where you are right now. And you can control what you decide to do about where you will be and where to go and how to create safety for yourself and your husband and the dog you're caring for. So,
Yes.
you and you have the resources to do this. And so, what I think about sometimes too is people who may not have the resources. But see, here's the thing. I think if we can use the resources we have, we all have different
Yes.
resources. We all have different resources. And there was something that was, I had my own, I'll call it an emotional hurricane yesterday, okay, in my house. And here you are dealing with all this stuff, also helping me, right? And so we will have hurricanes of different kinds in our lives. And I'm, I know it's happening. I'm like in the middle of it, and I can't prevent the hurricanes in my life, but I can attempt to seek shelter or safety or make it not worse, right? Not throw myself into the middle of it. And there's also our, like you said, natural reactions. So, I think about if I'm in Florida myself and I'm a single mom with 4 kids or whatever, right? How do I get out? How do I create safety? And I think if we're living our lives in a way that we have a network, right? Like you said, you helped your neighbor.
Mhm.
I regularly say we need each other more than we realize. And we all need a network. We're not meant to do this alone. And so if someone's saying, I don't have the resources, I don't have this, oh, Marina can go there. Marina can pay for gas. Marina has a car. Marina has a husband. Marina, yes. And Marina created the things in her life, right? So we all create what's in our life. And I think the deep part of this, the deeper part, aside from the gas, aside from who's driving the car, aside from going to a hotel or to a friend's house, is are you empowering yourself in your life? Is that the story of how am I creating the ability to be able to get out of the hurricane's path? You don't need to be in the hurricane's path. And I mean this emotionally and physically. Now, in some cases, we cannot prevent the direction of that hurricane coming our way. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of family who are experiencing a lot of loss right now. And I think it's important to talk about the loss itself too. Like when loss is real, maybe that's a different session
It is. And we're
because
gonna get there.
I think that this is a session that's focused on what do you do? Like stuff
Immediate
is coming.
reactions. Yeah.
What's that?
You can tell. I said this story is about immediate reactions. I have
Yes.
observed in the past couple of days such an array of reactions from complete ignorance and denial of what's coming to a complete panic, the whole array.
Yes.
And to tell you, Eva, living in Florida now for a couple of years, I am impressed and amazed at how the state is handling such disasters. I don't care what anyone says. I'm here every day and I can tell you what's going on. If you're a single mother and you have 4 kids and you don't have a car, or you do have a car, who cares? You order Uber or Lyft and it's paid for by the state. So you have a free ride. The amount of shelters that have been immediately opened up with 3 hot meals a day and none of them are full, and they're being constantly announced. So if you, oh yeah, they're not full. And people are asked, please don't wait, come here. We have everything for you. We have medical care. We have
Wow.
hot meals. We can get you here. It is incredible. A lot of gas stations yesterday morning ran out of gas. Guess what? The announcement came, don't worry, the gas is on the way. We're sending today on Nextdoor, on the Ring announcements, everywhere. All the gas stations full of gas. If you need extra plywood, we restocked. If you need extra water, we restocked. Everything was restocked. Like I'm saying, I have goosebumps because yesterday in the morning, everything was out. The sandbags, the plywood, the water, the gas, everything was out. Today they have replenished everything. Lowe's, Home Depot, all of the big stores, all of the small gas stations. You need gas, we're here. You need propane, we have it. We brought overnight supply. I mean, the reaction is unbelievable.
That's amazing. And we talked before, I think it was in the last session we recorded our stories were, and I commented like the disasters are going to happen. Stuff will hit the fan, both in your personal life, at work, and in the environment, right? These are not new things. We will never prevent issues from happening on like certain levels. And so you're either doing as much as you can to be prepared emotionally, physically, financially, or you're reacting
Psychologically,
psychologically, yes, or
you
you're
react.
you're reacting, which is then you're in a state of recovery, right? So
Yeah.
if it hits you, then you have to learn how to recover, right?
I wanted to share something very important. I think it's important. People will say, but how are you able to do this? How are you able to deal with this? How, really, how? I can tell you what I do. And moreover, Eva knows, and Eva, you can attest to what I'm saying right now. This is my daily life right now. Anything that happens in my life, I truly believe it's for my greater good. Whether it's a hurricane, or earthquake or any type of impactful event, I ground myself by doing breathing, somatic exercise, and I truly, honestly, I'm not lying, believe that, as Anita Morjani says, every day is the best day of your life. So as I was riding in a car with my husband and working and whatever and thinking, I was looking for an understanding of why I am in that situation right now, what I'm supposed to learn, what I'm supposed to understand. What is this, right? And as Eva, you absolutely correctly said it, you nailed it, right? I'm going through that. I'm surrendering. I'm accepting. I am clear of what I'm doing. And what I had done actually, and I can share it out loud right now. At first, few days ago, I was praying, oh, let hurricane go somewhere else. Let hurricane go somewhere else, northern, southern. And then yesterday, I thought, that's wrong. That is super wrong because, okay, it's not going to hit me, but it's okay if it's going to hit someone else, right? So I adjusted my thought and I thought to myself, and I talked to the hurricane because there are a lot of spiritual workers right now that are sending a lot of calm and loving energy to the hurricane so it subsides. Some people will call it a cuckoo or crazy or whatever. Everybody's allowed to their own opinion and their own judgment, right? I choose to share love with everyone. So I chose a different prayer yesterday, very logically. I chose a prayer, let you release your power in the middle of the Gulf And when anywhere you land, near us, far us, let it be the least amount of power. So you cause the least amount of impact on anyone. And when I said that to myself yesterday morning, it brought me peace.
Yeah, you have just dropped a lot of really powerful statements, and you're just kind of like, and another thing. So I kind of want to replay the first thing you said, which I'm having a hard time because I'm such a feeling person at times. I'm like, wait, say that again, but I did not want to interrupt you. Um, you said the first thing you did was related to having that everything that happens, and this is a mindset shift. And there could be a whole thing just on this one thing you said, that everything is happening to teach you something. There's something to learn from everything that's happening. That's massive. And then you're like, and then no, like, hold on a second. Everything is happening to teach us something. Now,
Everything.
and what I think is interesting about this, the way you positioned it was, you don't deserve it. It's not about blaming or deserve, but everything happens and there's something for us to learn from the things that are happening. So it's almost like, if I'm putting words on it from a learning perspective, you're encouraging us all to be, including yourself, to be learners looking for lessons, which gives our hearts and our minds a new job. You cannot be obsessing about all the things that are going wrong while you're on a little treasure hunt to find the lesson. You're
Mhm.
engaging and empowering one's heart and one's mind to go find
Mhm.
the good being the lesson.
The lesson is always for good. I told you that last night. It's always for good, for your good, for your own. And that's what people don't realize. I hear a lot, and I was like that as well. Why? But actually, for me, it stopped a really long time ago. I just couldn't visualize the next step. And that's what I'm giving right now because I know where the disconnect is, right? People are like, okay, so what's the lesson? First of all, people don't understand the lesson because you have to only look inside. It's not for anyone, it's inwards, it's yours. And people also feel victimized.
Mm.
Why do I deserve this? They don't deserve this. I don't. It's not about deserving, it's about your perception.
This is huge. This is really hard to grasp. So I'm going to be thinking about this, because when I think about my virtual emotional hurricanes that happen, that are named by household members in my family, including my own, I have to think about certain things. I have to think about this a lot.
And I'm here to help you because these things can be helped. There are people who can help you sort through those. I was doing it on my own, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it on your own. And when I was doing on my own, I was also searching for someone who can help me understand certain things. And I found those people. So you have just gotten to, I'm just gonna say, This is what we're here for. This is one of the reasons why why we create this channel, is because we would like to be those people that are helping you, our viewers, to ask questions and to get clarifications.
Right. So you're talking about an actual hurricane, your emotional response to it, your process for shifting your mind. And this is really powerful and helpful. And I think the conversation needs to continue and shift into the more day-to-day things as well,
Mhm.
which I characterize as the emotional hurricanes. I'm generally pretty good, pretty prepared, and pretty grounded with what happens from day to day because I know people are learning, and in learning, learning is messy. Learning gets emotional. Failure happens, judgment happens, calling out of the failure, calling out of what could be better, comparison, etc. All the emotional, um, natural, first crappy responses to to learning, right? And I generally, I can do pretty well, but I'm learning my own hurricane gets whipped up when I am not considered. When I am not considered. There's
I
probably
don't
more.
know. Yeah,
There's
there is
more. I'm still learning. When you don't know your own, when you haven't figured it out yet, just even putting words on it is a beginning of learning.
yes.
So
Yes.
how I describe my own emotion may not be the way you describe it, but you're looking from the outside in, I'm looking from the inside out, and there's still the swirl of emotion. But what I can tell you, and I know I'm not alone, is when people do not feel respected, when people do not feel considered, and when other people repeatedly are inconsiderate, there is a natural consequence, just like there's a natural consequence of when warm water swirls with wind and picks it up from the ocean. There is a natural event, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see how we talk about this because this is one of my struggles is how do we make sure we're not dancing with the toxic positivity, right? And I think that what you had told me before in the prior week when I was worried and I was spinning with worry for my friends in North Carolina, and you said, Eva, stop putting that vibration out there. You're more into the vibration and energy, right? And I believe it, but you're more versed in it. So you said that's a low vibration activity. Instead of being worried about your friends, picture them safe. Picture them helping other people and being helped. Picture good things happening with them. And then an hour later, after I did it, I went to check on them and they had posted after days of no posting and horrific news, they posted that they were okay. And then the next day they had already driven to another place and were safe. So I mean, that's not to say everybody's going to always get great news, but it was pretty remarkable that within an hour of me doing what Marina was encouraging me to do, which was to stop the negative spin and to put out there my love, frankly, that's what it was, my love. It was pretty profound. But it's hard to do. So thank you, first of all, Marina, for encouraging me to stop. I believe that there is, and this is why we're friends, because we can call each other out in a way that helps the other. We have good intentions, but we're not going
Yes.
to let each other get away with BS.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
so not all
and that's
friends do that.
good.
A lot of friends will sit there and complain right with you, right?
Yeah. But that's why you have different flavors of friends. And I didn't understand it before. And then I listened to someone, which I'm not gonna name right now. And the way he described the friendships totally blew my mind. It was like 7 flavors of friendships.
Oh, wow. That's
And when
interesting.
you try to blend them all in one person, you fail
Mm,
in and what happens is you get disappointed with this person, right? Because you had completely wrong expectations for that person. And when I understood, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It's wrong. One person cannot be those absolutely 7 different flavors. 2,
mhm,
3, yes,
mhm.
maybe 4, but not 7. So when you expect, right, something and it doesn't realize, you get upset. And that's something that it's one of those messages which I have for you, Eva, based on
I
that
was picking it up. I'm
emotional
like, oh, there it
storm.
is. Yeah. Well,
You know
and
me pretty well now.
I need that. Um, and then I need to understand what I need to do about that.
Yeah.
Because I also have a saying that people are not disposable, right? Like you don't just throw away relationships because people aren't living up to your expectations.
Don't
Now,
have expectations. I've been told that by a couple of very close people. And at first, when I was told that long time ago,
mm,
honestly, Eva, I had a repulsive
mm-hmm,
internal reaction.
mm-hmm. And now,
Repulsive. And now I completely understand where they're coming from. And they were right. And I have so much more to share in that because I can verbalize why.
we will go there next another time. There's a lot we have talked about from the things that are going on, and not all of it's great, but the key here, looking at our lives and the things that happen that swirl in particular, probably have some of the biggest lessons for us. So,
The biggest lesson that I would like to share out of our story today for everyone is remember any type of fear is not real, it's an emotion. You are in control of your emotions, no one else. Whenever you think you cannot control it, use somatic exercises to help you, which is breathing and some other things which we'll post and you can find yourself, and then still understand emotionally, whatever situation is, it's for your greatest good. So find what is this you need to understand.
thanks, Marina. That's all for now. In the meantime, we'll catch up with you again soon, and we send you empowerment, support, and love.